you
came
been
out.
briefed on Savannah Guthrie's mom missing in Arizona?
I think it's terrible.
Would you commit to more federal agents, like helping out on the search?
Sure,
or
I
anything
would.
like
I'm going
that?
to call her later on. I think it's a terrible thing. I always got along very good with Savannah. Very unusual situation, but we're going to find out.
For years, Savannah Guthrie has been one of the faces we greet in the early morning. A constant in millions of households, a voice we trust to start the day. But when we think of trust, we think of stability. We think of control. And lately, something has shaken that sense of calm in a way most people never expected. This isn't about headlines. This isn't about ratings. This is about something far more personal and far more unsettling. It started with a missing persons report. Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie, vanished from her Arizona home without explanation. No scheduled appointments, no text check-ins, no sign that she simply walked away. At first, it was a story that would normally belong in the local news. An elderly woman unaccounted for, a family waiting in fear. But something about this case didn't feel routine, because law enforcement didn't treat it like routine. The Pima County Sheriff's Office, backed by FBI assistance, treated her disappearance as a potential crime, not a simple wandering or miscommunication. And then Savannah Guthrie, one of the most recognizable journalists in America, suddenly pulled back from her professional duties. She withdrew from today's planned Winter Olympics coverage, a moment she had worked years to be part of, choosing instead to stay close to home, close to family, amid what had become a desperate search for her missing mother. That decision alone tells us something deeper. Because for someone whose job is delivering clarity every morning, choosing absence speaks volumes. The urgency of the situation became even clearer when NBC quietly implemented heightened security measures for Today Show staff and facilities. Additional police presence, private guards at studio entrances, coordination with New York City authorities. These are not everyday precautions for a morning broadcast known for lifestyle segments and feel-good stories. This is a reaction to fear, a network recognizing that uncertainty has the power to touch even those who have always reported the news, not lived it. Now the questions are piling up. Why was Nancy Guthrie's disappearance treated as a possible criminal act? Why is the FBI involved? Why would someone take an elderly woman with known health vulnerabilities, someone who requires daily medication, and vanish without a trace? And as authorities comb through leads, analyze phone records and surveillance footage, and mobilize search teams, the emotional weight of the situation has seeped into every corner of the Today newsroom. Co-hosts openly admit they're shaken. They talk about difficulty sleeping. They talk about fear. Not for ratings, not for headlines, but for a colleague, and for something deeply human. Savannah's heartfelt plea for prayers and public assistance, shared on her own social media, became a part of the narrative itself, humble, deeply personal, and raw in its vulnerability. Across the web, people struggle to make sense of how something like this could happen. Discussions on forums range from sympathetic to speculative, some asking whether her mother was targeted because of Savannah's visibility, others simply horrified that an elderly woman could be missing for so long with no clear answers. For the public, it has become a story that highlights something many of us rarely confront. Even those who stand at the center of news every day can find themselves in the middle of the news. But the most striking element isn't just the disappearance. It's how swiftly a family crisis has become a network concern. Because NBC's security response shows that this isn't just about empathy. It's about acknowledging risk where there once was assumed safety. And when a newsroom tightens its own perimeter, it signals a fear that many on the outside don't immediately see. The fear that personal tragedy can spill into professional spaces in ways that are impossible to fully control. So what does this mean for today, for Savannah, and for the millions who tune in every morning? It means that for the first time in a long time, the narrative isn't being delivered from a distance. It's happening inside the broadcast, not just outside it. It means that a trusted voice, a familiar face, is navigating uncertainty not as a reporter, but as a daughter. And that shift, in itself, changes everything. As the story continues to unfold, with search teams, law enforcement, and desperate family members all caught in this web of unanswered questions, one thing is clear. This is not just a celebrity news item. This is a family in crisis, a newsroom on edge, a network adjusting to reality, and a public invited, unwillingly perhaps, to share in the fear and hope that lives inside every unanswered prayer. Savannah's absence from today isn't just a scheduling change. It is a reminder that no amount of expertise, no amount of professional training, no amount of journalistic skill can protect someone from life's unpredictability. When personal and professional worlds collide, the fallout is larger than any headline. And as this situation continues to tighten its grip, as authorities search, as rumors spread, as questions multiply, one unmistakable truth remains. The most human stories are often the most profound and the hardest to watch. No one knows what the next update will bring. Law enforcement continues its investigation. Friends, neighbors, colleagues, and even fans watch with bated breath. Each new detail, each piece of potential evidence carries weight. Because behind every missing person's case is a family waiting and a world watching. For Savannah Guthrie, this is no longer a story to report. This is her life, her family, her mother. And the world, for once, is not watching a news anchor tell a story. It's watching a daughter pray for one.